planet Earth.
Some call me nature.
I am very passionate about the planet
Earth.
A living, breathing planet capable of sustaining whatever life forms we see fit to deposit on it.
Spock, judging by the pollution content of the atmosphere, I believe we have arrived.
Is the planet stupid?
No. It's the planet stupid.
And our guide for It's the Planet Stupid, Belinda Waymouth, is here. Hi, Belinda. Good morning.
Hi, how are you, Mark?
I'm well. Thank you for your patience. I want to get right into things. The short story on the planet, from what I can see, is not so bueno.
Well, we could start with the not so bueno, and then we could go to something that's pretty cool.
You like bueno. I like not so bueno. You like the light. You walk into the positive. I walk into the doom and the negative.
We're the yin and the yang.
I live in the worry. I live in the bouillabaisse of worry. You live in the magic of potential in the future. That's why we get along so well.
Yeah, what a sweet way to put it, Mark. I love that.
So you can start. You don't have to start with the bad. I just saw the ocean temperature figures, and I thought there was some alarming stuff there.
Yeah, the ocean thing is super alarming. I mean, to have the hottest temperatures in ever recorded in the world's oceans for the last 48 days, 42 days in a row is crazy. I mean, it's uncharted territory, and it's not good. The second time the ocean was this hot was back in 2016 when we were in an El Nino period. And I think I mentioned this last week. We've been in a La Nina for the last 3 years. And when we have a La Nina, it cools everything down. The whole globe, temperatures and things go down. And so to be in a La Nina, but still have the ocean be this hot. And, the masking effect of the La Nina is about to be completely eclipsed because we have another El Nino hot on its heels. And when that comes, and we're back to, hey, this is what's really going on, plus adding on an El Nino, which will heat it up even more. It's scary. It's really scary.
So as you look at, you're right. The El Nino figures are typically those that are associated with a cooler regime. It's even weird that some of the congruence that you find between atmospheric events and ocean sea surface temperatures, they're out of whack. They're not as matched up as they were. Now, the data based on that, I happen to know a little bit about this because I was, weather forecaster for so long, and I know and I got into the research at Scripps and about sea surface temperatures and this kind of thing. They're not quite as cause and effect, might be a way to put it, as they used to be. So you see that even those systems that we thought we were beginning to understand, they're being thrown out of whack. I can only imagine what's happening with migration patterns and basic weather patterns are shifting. These are things that have been talked about for decades, and they are here in a big way.
Yeah. Well, the thing about the ocean, we've talked about this before, the ocean covers 71% of the planet. It's super, super important, and it really moderates our weather. And the fact that it's, heating up so much. They talk about the top 2 kilometers of the ocean being hotter than they've ever been. And the ocean has absorbed, 90% of the excess heat that we've put into the ocean by burning all these fossil fuels. And so the planet would be, way hotter if the Earth wasn't doing that. But, you've got what's going on, in those top 2 kilometers, but you've also got these huge and very important ocean currents. There's this enormous conveyor belt that goes from the Arctic to the Antarctic, and it takes hundreds of years for this big conveyor belt to go around. And it's really important because it moves nutrients and oxygen from parts of the ocean where there's a lot of those nutrients and a lot of that, really important, life-giving oxygen, to the areas of the ocean where it's depleted. The conveyor belt goes down at the Arctic all the way down to the Antarctic, and then comes up and then goes back up, to the Arctic. Well, that is being messed with. And we need that because we need those nutrients, to be being dispersed And then we also, it's going to, if that, conveyor belt breaks down, that also, affects our weather. So, that's a deep water thing. But what's happening on the surface, as the water is heating up, it's expanding. So that's pushing sea level rise. And then as it's warmer, it's melting the ice sheets that are around places like Greenland, the Arctic, the Antarctic. I mean, in Antarctica, the reason why we're having this crazy melt and people are getting so worried is, first of all, it's the ice sheets that are sitting in hotter ocean temperatures than normal. But once those ice sheets go, they're the things that hold the glaciers in place. And once the ice sheet is gone, then that glacier has nothing to stop it from, carving into the ocean, pushing up, sea level even more. And, we were talking about, what's happening in, Florida and in Miami and in these places that are, they're underwater, the water is, lapping at the gate, it's right
First
there.
of all, it's glacier. I mean, you've been in this country now for long enough. Let's knock off the New Zealand crap, okay? And secondly,
you wish.
it's calving, all right? It's glaciers and calving, okay?
Yeah. Sorry, I say calving. You say calving. That's
talk like an American.
Y'all can all go to hell, and I'm going back to Texas.
All right. So no, I also wanted to mention something else, just as a little note. The glaciers or glaciers, as they melt and as the ice melts, the ice and the glaciers are what? Fresh water.
Yes.
And they're melting into
salt water. Yeah, salt water. So you're changing the chemistry of the ocean.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's, I think, the oftentimes untold story, which maybe is lost in the sea level rise, is how, the consistency, the chemistry of the water in the ocean is changing dramatically, quickly, so, alongside all these other things that are changing dramatically and quickly. So,
no. The thing is, it's crazy. And when you look at what the warming ocean does to the coral reefs, reefs. Oh yeah, that's it. There, you can see that black line. That's us right now.
That's hot black line. Yeah,
a hot black line. It's just linear heating going up, and I don't even know what's going to happen once we get into an El Nino, which they're predicting for later in the year. And there was a story actually. I think I sent it to you. I wanted to put it on Twitter. I don't know if Elon has kicked me off Twitter, but I couldn't post today on Twitter. But I wanted to put on a map of the ocean showing where these really hot pockets are, and one of them is New Zealand. New Zealand is sitting in this, sort of hot mass of ocean. And, I've talked about what's happened since the beginning of the year. Crazy raining in Auckland killed, 4 people in January. This is summer in New Zealand. Then we had a cyclone, in February that killed 11 people in the part of the country where my family lived. The flooding was, off the charts. And then we had 2 tornadoes. I mean, New Zealand doesn't get tornadoes. And then when I look at it sitting in this hot pocket of, water, I'm like, that's interesting. And as you said, earlier, with weather and the ocean, not everything is, cause and effect. There are so many different, things happening, but it didn't surprise me, to see like, it's sitting in this, hot little,
ocean
pocket and this, crazy weather is happening.
By the way, if you ever I'll tell you this on the air, if you ever have anything that is not being posted to a social media place that you want, or if you have ever anything that, even if it was posted to social media, that you want to talk about, send it to us, and Tony can make sure that it gets on the air during your segment. It's not a problem, So we have, we can put up whatever graphics you want. You always. And
I should have sent it to Kim actually, so she should have she could have shown the picture.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Kim or Tony, we can get it going. So in our last couple of minutes, by the way, I think some good comments about the ocean. We do treat it as an open sewer. So we've toxified the ocean. There's no question about that. We've talked about the DDT dumpings. We've talked about the continued chemical dumpings. It really is remarkable that the ocean exists, but it's quickly dying with huge dead patches. If you talk to people who are out on the ocean, fisher people and all the rest, they'll tell you of these huge dead spaces. But what we're talking about now is an ocean in response to warming that is largely man-made. I mean, I'd suggest that it's, virtually all man-made, this sudden warming. Now give me the good news, because we're running out of time, and I'm...
Okay, so quickly. There's this fabulous Swiss company called Energy Volt, and Volt, it's a play on words. I don't know if they can get a ding for their name, but it's not V-O-L-T, it's V-A-U-L-T, because they are creating these fabulous gravity batteries. So rather than a chemical battery, and we often talk on the show about the problems with chemical batteries and the precious metals that they need. I mean, this is very different. Gravity batteries are about storing the energy that is created during the day from solar and wind power. And what they do is they act sort of like an enormous Pez gun. They have these bricks. They are 11 by 9 by 4 feet. They're made out of dirt. And so I've got to love this. It's the low tech, high impact version of energy storage. They're made out of dirt, water, and a polymer that sort of sticks them together. And you use the power that's created during the day when the sun is shining and the wind is blowing, and you move these big bricks up into the storage facility, and you load them in like a Pez gun. And there they sit. And at night, when you need them, you let them drop down and they spin a generator, and they create the electricity that you need at night. And just to sort of, really kind of...
Tony, can you find this? I'm trying to envision it. Are you looking for it now? Vault. Vault. V-A-U-L-T. What is it?
Let me quickly send the story.
No. Just give us the name of the company again. He'll find it. Don't worry about the story.
Yeah. So it's on CNET, Your Guide to a Better Future, hundreds of 24
There it is. Here, he's got it already.
Yeah. So these bricks...
So if you're watching it, these are these batteries?
Yeah, they're called gravity batteries, and the technology of a gravity battery has been around for a while. We've used it with water. We used energy to push water up to a higher level during an excess energy moment, and then when we needed, when there wasn't energy being generated, we let the water come down to the lower level, and it spun generators and produced the electricity, on demand as you needed it.
Sure.
And now what they're doing is going, okay, we can do it with these dirt bricks. One 24-ton dirt brick falling at they fall at 6 feet a second, can power 2,000 refrigerators for a day. Just to
that's so. These are dirt bricks. Is that what you're calling them?
Yeah. They tried them.
It's kinetic energy that's released. All right.
Yeah. This is total physics. It's total physics. Yeah. You when you've got the excess solar and wind power, you use that that generation, that energy to push them up into the storage facility. And then when there's no solar and wind and you need energy, you let them drop. And as they drop, they spin these turbines that then generate the electricity when you need it. Now they're building one. This is fantastic. Guess where they're building one in the US?
Somewhere in the Southwest, I would think.
Well, you actually in one of your little audio things, the lady who's going back to
she's going back to in Texas.
Yeah,
they're doing it, really?
Y'all can all go to hell, and I'm going back to Texas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they're building one of these vaults there, or one of these storage facilities there, and then China is building this absolutely enormous one. In fact, China is so enamored with this idea of gravity batteries. They are looking to expand 60-fold on this initial plant that they're building.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as we often talk about, on the show, it's going to be all hands on deck. So it's going to be, gravity batteries. It's going to be, we've got to, use everything we've got. And the fact that they're, dirt, water, and this polymer stabilizer, which the Swiss guys got, it's a recipe from a Mexican company called Cemex. So they came up with the recipe, and it's really good. They're not using concrete, because concrete is
Creates its
comes
own
from
problem. Yeah.
yeah. It creates
As you've said.
CO2 in its manufacture. Yeah, it comes from calcium carbonate, and when you're making the concrete, you're letting off copious quantities of CO2. So we don't want that. And the other thing that's great is these batteries, unlike a chemical battery, they can live for 35 years. If you maintain, the pulleys and the generators, the bricks are already weatherproof. I mean, they're so low tech,
Sure.
So they've got a 35-year lifespan. I mean, that's way more than, what our phones, how long our phones
Sure.
last than your
Sure.
electric, car. So I'm really,
these creative ways of getting electricity are going to be key for the future, as well as we do electrify more things. But that's really exciting. That's cool. Thank you for that, and thank you, Tony, for hustling it so we could see what it looked like. You can find her on social media. You can find her here on Thursday. She's Belinda Waymouth, Waymouth. Belinda, thank you so much for being with us every Thursday. I so look forward to this, and today was really a good one. I had no idea about this new technology. That's really cool. And you're right, it's a hopeful sign. So thank you.
Yeah, it sure is. My pleasure. Have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.
Belinda Waymouth, everybody. Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.